Nice to meet you again.
Yeah. How is the tour going?
Actually, the summer tour is like 20-25 gigs,
Yeah.
but not every gig is in the row. Like a lot of flights, a lot of festivals. So far, it's amazing. We have like 3 or 4 gigs to go, so it's almost finished. But we had a lot, really good times so far.
So, can you introduce yourself for the people who don't already know you?
Yeah. I'm Labros. I'm the drummer of 1000 Mods.
Yeah.
1000 Mods is a Greek stoner rock band. We started playing in 2006. Since then we have 3 full albums, a lot of EPs, and tens of tours around Europe. 1 US tour, a lot of gigs, like, I don't know, maybe we reached like 500 gigs now.
So, with the other member of the band, you always be good friend? What's the story behind the band?
Actually, we know each other since we were really young, like children,
Yeah.
and we were spending our summer vacations all together every summer. So every summer we, as all the kids, you know, going by the beach, play some soccer, etc. But we were also really into music and listening to good kind of music. So it was a really nice bond, listening all together to music. So, I mean, music was our main interest when we were really young. We had a lot of favorite bands, and it came to play also.
And what do you think about your evolution since the beginning in 2006 from now?
Of course, first of all, we get older.
Yeah.
And as we get older and we have new experiences, we see different things. We travel a lot, so we get a lot of different cultures and vibes, and knowing a lot of people from all around the world. So this whole thing evolves you and makes you much more open-minded. So it's a way to evolve your music, but also evolve as a person. I mean, get a little bit different and hopefully better as a person as you get older.
Okay, and what's next? What's your next project? Maybe a new album or something else? What about the future?
The plan is we released the last album 2 years ago almost.
Yeah.
And since then we have toured. I think it is the most heavy touring we ever done in our life, like playing 200 shows in 2 years. And now the plan is that we have a really big gig in Athens, our biggest headline show yet. It's going to be a really nice open air gig in an amazing theater in Athens. And after that we will stop a little bit of playing live and focus more on writing new material, and hopefully in 1 year from now we'll have a new album.
Okay, and I met you last year, May, San Sebastian, and you told me that you would like to play Hellfest, and
It happened.
yeah, and now it's done. How about your experience?
First of all, as a musician, playing in this kind of festival and see how a festival like this works behind the scene. I mean, so many stages, so many people working to have the best result, and so good on the whole organizing all this huge stuff. It's really difficult, and we're impressed how this thing works. But as the band that we played like a slot in the afternoon, and we didn't expect so much things, like just play a good show with some people enjoying our show, and got completely crowded, and all the people were partying like crazy. I mean, doing circle pits, dancing. It was.
I see you playing Desert Fest too?
Yeah. I think now we play every Desert Festival in Europe, and some more than 2 times.
What you prefer? Berlin, London, Frankfurt?
I think it's also, we have also played in Athens, in our hometown, but I think our favorite is Berlin because we have a lot of good friends there and it's always chill and we have the best of the time.
I know you're from Greece, so is it easy to be a musician there? I mean, to live only by playing music?
Of course, no, it's not easy at all.
Like in France, but...
Yeah, I think maybe worse because with the whole crisis thing, things got really difficult to survive. I mean, to have just the minimum amount of money to have a home, to have some food. I mean, it's really difficult the last years in Greece. The good thing is that the whole crisis helped the scene to grow bigger, and the last year's Greek underground scene, I think it's maybe the biggest and the most healthy scene in Europe. Like there are too many good bands that play in Athens and in other big Greek cities with thousands of fans. And Greek young people really support the Greek bands. It's amazing that a Greek band has much more many followers than a huge name in the scene. Like I mean,
Planet of Zeus.
Yeah, Planet of Zeus, Night Soldier.
Septic Flesh.
Yes, yeah, of course. In metal, Rotting Christ, of course.
Yeah.
The scene is really dedicated.
And what do you think about the rise of the stoner rock music in Europe since a couple of years?
First, it's amazing. First of all, I think this thing happened because a lot of bands made some really good efforts, recording some really cool albums. Although it's a genre that it's already 20 years old, or maybe more, or almost 30 years old. And there are still bands that are really focused and really into this kind of music. And if there are good bands and good music, people will come and the scene will grow.
And you told me that it was your biggest tour. I mean, near 2 years of touring to present your new album. But is there a country where you never play and you want to bring your heavy music? Or part of the world? Australia.
Of course. We are really lucky that this year we went for first time in US. It was a big dream come. I mean, all the bands want to play in US sometime, and we were really lucky to do it, and it was really successful. So we're really happy about it. But I think the next goal is going to South America or Australia. These places we really want to visit, and we know that the audience is amazing, but we are also going to see something completely different regarding nature, culture. We really want to do it.
And you have the time to visit the country where you play, or you just do a concert and you go in another place?
Usually...
You have some day off, maybe?
Usually we don't. Unfortunately, this is the main problem for a touring musician, that you can visit so many different cities or countries, and most of the times you never see it. You just see the venue and the hotel, and that's it. But we try, of course, when we have a day off, to spend our time to have the most experiences and go for a walk and learn how the city is. I mean, we try to take our time and visit new places.
Okay.
When it's possible.
And same question from the last time. To end the interview, have you got maybe a funny fact to tell us about the tour?
Two weeks ago, we were playing in Sonic Blast Moledo in Portugal.
Okay.
And 2 days after, we were playing in Roclet in
Switzerland.
Alps.
Yeah.
And we spent 20 or 30 hours in an airport with no flights, flight delays, flight cancellations, changing schedules, and we're really afraid that we are going to miss Sonic Blast Moledo, which we're really like to do it, and having the best after this whole situation. It was like the best thing to happen to play some Blast Boledo with all these amazing people and these vibes. But for 30 hours we're like changing airports and changing time schedules and we're sure that we're never going to play Boledo.
So, it's a good ending.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We'll see us again.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Next year. You know the place?
Yeah.